Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're taking a shortcut to getting you up to speed on Pricol Limited. They're a really major player in India's auto components scene.
That's right. Our goal here is to, well, unpack their latest financials, the unaudited results for Q1 of fiscal 26, ending June 30th, 2025.
Yeah, we're going beyond just the press release headlines.
Exactly. We'll be looking at their official statements, board meeting notes, the financials themselves, really digging in.
We want to figure out what these numbers mean for Pricol, their strategy, and maybe what it signals for the wider auto industry in India.
And give you those key insights, maybe some surprising facts along the way.
Absolutely. So let's start with the basics. Who exactly is Pricol Limited? What do they actually do?
Okay. So Pricol is one of India's top automotive tech companies. Precision engineered products and solutions, that's their game. They're based in Coimbatore.
Right.
Started way back in 75, so they've been around a while. Built up a pretty strong global reputation since then.
Okay, 75. And their main products, what kind of things are they making for cars and bikes?
They work across three main areas, or verticals as they call them. First is driver information and connected vehicle solutions, DICVS.
Okay.
Then you've got actuation control and fluid management systems, ACFMS.
Got it.
And finally, precision products. And under those umbrellas, they make like over 500, 200 different product variants.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, it really is. They supply all the big automotive OEMs, original equipment manufacturers, across basically every segment. Two-wheelers, three-wheelers, passenger cars, commercial trucks, even off-highway stuff. And they sell both in India and internationally.
You mentioned international markets. So how big is their footprint outside India? Are they truly global?
Oh, definitely. I mean, they have 14 manufacturing plants here in India, which is substantial.
Right.
But they also have a plant in Indonesia, plus international offices in Dubai, Tokyo, and Singapore. And it's important for the financials we're discussing. Their consolidated results include several wholly owned subsidiaries. Pricol Asia in Singapore, PT Pricol Surya in Indonesia.
Yeah. Okay. So it all rolls up.
Precisely. Pricol Precision Products back in Coimbatore, Pricol Asia Exim in Dubai, all 100% owned. So yes, a definite global presence.
All right, let's get into the numbers then. Q1 FY26 performance, the quarter ending June 30th. What really stood out? What's the story here?
Well, looking at the consolidated results, the revenue figure really jumps out. Revenue from operations hit INR 8,776.60 million.
Okay, 8,776 million rupees. How does that compare?
That's the striking part. It's a 45.57% growth compared to the same quarter last year, Q1 FY25.
Whoa, 45%. That's huge growth year over year for a Q1.
It really is significant. It suggests, maybe strong demand recovery in their key segments, possibly grabbing more market share too. Something's clicking there.
Okay, massive top-line growth. Did profitability keep up with that kind of surge? What about EBITDA?
Good question. So EBITDA, that's earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization, it came in at INR 1,018.62 million.
Right.
That's also up year over year by a healthy 26.30%. But you notice it's not quite the 45% growth we saw in revenue.
Yeah, definitely slower growth there. What does that tell us? Margin pressure.
Potentially. Their EBITDA margin for the quarter was 11.61%. Still a decent margin, but the fact it didn't expand or even grew slower than revenue might point towards rising input costs or maybe a shift in the product mix they sold during the quarter.
Interesting. Okay, so revenue up massively, EBITDA up healthily but slower. What about the actual bottom line? Profit after tax, Pat.
Right, the PIT, that landed at INR 498.94 million. Now, this marks a 9.51% growth compared to Q1 last year.
Only 9.5%. So revenue up 45%, EBITDA 26%, but profit after tax just under 10% growth.
Exactly. That difference suggests that factors further down the income statement, like maybe higher interest costs or depreciation from new investments or perhaps tax impacts, had a more significant effect this quarter. The basic earnings per share, EPS, reflects this too. It was INR 4.09 for the quarter, up from INR 3.74 a year ago. A rise, but again, not mirroring that top-line explosion.
And we should remind everyone these are unaudited numbers, right?
Absolutely crucial point. They've been reviewed by the audit committee, approved by the board, and had a limited review by the auditors, but they're not the final audited figures yet.
Okay, beyond the pure financials, which are fascinating in themselves, what about strategy? Any big moves or achievements Pricol highlighted this quarter? This often tells you where they're focusing.
Yes, and there's a really interesting one. Pricol signed a technology license agreement with an Italian company, Domino SRL.
Domino. Okay, what do they do?
They're apparently a global leader in motorcycle control systems. Think throttles, switches, that kind of thing on the handlebars.
Ah, okay, so controls.
Exactly. And this agreement is specifically aimed at expanding these advanced two-wheeler handlebar technologies in India, Southeast Asia.
That sounds pretty strategic, especially with the two-wheeler market evolving so fast.
Right. Pricol themselves called it a pivotal step in Pricol's innovation-driven growth strategy. That's strong language. It signals they're really pushing into higher-value, tech-focused components for bikes.
Definitely sounds like a potential long-term growth driver there. What about recognition? Any awards or accolades that show how they're performing right now in terms of quality or operations?
Yes, quite a few actually, which kind of paints a picture of their operational strength. They got an award from Suzuki Motorcycle India
Oh, yeah?
for special support and supply chain. And what's really noteworthy here is this is the fourth year in a row they've been named Best Supplier by Suzuki Motorcycle India.
4 years running. Wow, that's consistency.
It really is. In today's world, with all the supply chain chaos we often see, getting recognized specifically for supply chain support and doing it consistently.
That says a lot about their reliability, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It suggests they've got robust systems, maybe good inventory management, strong relationships. They're delivering when needed, which is huge for OEMs. It builds trust.
A real competitive edge, I'd imagine. Any other awards?
Yep. Their subsidiary, Pricol Precision Products, or P3L, got an award from Ather Energy, the EV scooter company.
Ether. Okay, interesting.
They won Excellence in Business Competitiveness at Ather's Supplier Meet, and P3L also got a Supplier Excellence Recognition Award from MAN plus Hummel, who are big in filtration systems.
So recognition across different segments, traditional two-wheelers, EVs, other component areas, that's quite broad validation.
Exactly. It speaks to their quality and efficiency across their diverse portfolio.
Okay, so strong financials, albeit with some margin nuances, strategic tech partnerships, consistent industry praise. What's the word for management? How do they view this quarter, and what are they flagging for the future?
Well, the managing director, Mr. Vikram Mohan, gave a comment. He said, and I'm quoting roughly here, "We've made meaningful progress by staying focused on our core strengths: operational excellence, technology integration, and market-driven solutions." Pretty standard stuff there. But then he added something quite specific. He said they are closely monitoring the demand across key segments, considering the external dynamics due to rare earth magnet shortage.
Ah, the rare earth magnet issue. That keeps popping up. Why is that significant for a company like Pricol?
It's very significant because rare earth magnets are absolutely crucial for a lot of advanced auto components. Think electric motors in EVs, various sensors, actuators, areas where Pricol is either strong or actively growing, like with connected vehicle solutions.
So a shortage could really impact them.
It could. It might affect their production costs if prices spike or lead times if supply is tight, or potentially even force changes in how they design or develop certain products, especially in those high-growth, tech-heavy areas.
Okay, so they're acknowledging a potential headwind there, a specific supply chain risk. Despite that, how confident do they sound about keeping the momentum going?
They still sound quite positive. Mr. Mohan also expressed confidence in their ability to sustain and build on this momentum. And he mentioned excitement about the recent technology partnerships, like the Domino one, presumably, being an additional growth driver.
So acknowledging the challenge, but betting on their strategy and partnerships to power through.
That seems to be the message. Their commitment, he said, is still firmly on enhancing capabilities and delivering value. The confidence likely comes from having that diversified base and making these strategic bets.
Makes sense. And for listeners who really want to get into the weeds, is there a chance to hear directly from the management?
Yes, there is. Pricol has scheduled an earnings conference call. It's set for Friday, August 1st, 2025 at 4 p.m. Indian Standard Time.
Okay.
They'll discuss these results and the company's performance in more detail. The CEO, Mr. P.M. Ganesh, the Director of Strategy, Mr. Siddharth Manoharan, and the CFO, Mr. Priyadarshi Bastia, are all expected to be on the call.
Good to know. So pulling it all together then, what's the main takeaway from this deep dive into Pricol's Q1?
Well, I think we've seen a company firing on several cylinders. Really strong revenue growth, clearly benefiting from market conditions, but also making smart strategic moves, especially that Domino partnership focusing on two-wheeler tech.
And the awards back up their operational strength.
Exactly. That consistent recognition isn't trivial. It underlines their reliability. But there's that explicit mention of the rare earth magnet shortage. It's a potent reminder that even companies performing well are deeply intertwined with these complex, sometimes fragile global supply chains.
It really brings us to a fascinating point to think about, doesn't it? As companies like Pricol push forward with more advanced automotive tech EVs, connected cars, sophisticated controls, they become more reliant on these critical materials, like rare earths. So here's something for you to ponder. How might the availability, the cost, maybe even the geopolitical factors surrounding materials like rare earth magnets start to reshape the auto industry? Think about product design, manufacturing locations, maybe even alliances between companies or countries. How might companies need to adapt or innovate just to secure their supplies in the years ahead?